And as many of you know, most of you know, most independent candidates are not taken seriously. Most independent candidates don't have a chance. Most independent candidates for political office are treated like crazy fringe freaks. But this isn't the case with Don DeZarn and I. We're folks who don't have a lot of money who realize that neither the Democratic candidates nor the Republican candidates represent the best of what their party is supposed to represent. So we have decided to fill the void. That's really what it comes down to. Now, I really wish, I truly wish, and in fact, I pray to the Lord that something's going to happen and they're going to decide to debate us. Because there are things I really want to talk about. And there are things I really want the public to witness in a debate. And some of those topics, property taxes, tax credits, job creation, education, and gun rights. These are issues I want to see in a debate, and I don't trust that just between the Republicans and the Democrats that it's going to be a good debate. And I'll tell you why. The Republicans and the Democrats agree when it comes to how to change the property tax problem in the state of New Jersey, which has the highest property tax in the country. And the greater problem is their shared proposal is not a guaranteed success for the people. The further problem is that both of them are trying to appeal to special interest groups, especially the Democrats. The Democrats want to appeal to the veterans and the senior citizens. And look, on the surface, it sounds great. After all, the veterans, you veterans out there, God bless your souls to the full extent that I can express. You went out and fought for this country's freedom. And I will thank you day and night all my life for what you've sacrificed. And you do deserve to have great jobs after you leave the military. But what about all of the folks who aren't in the military? And what can be done to ensure that they get jobs? Well, all the Democrats have to offer is tax credits for certain corporations who might create more jobs. Well, first of all, that's our money that is essentially going to subsidize, and not only subsidize, but bribe certain corporations to maybe create more jobs. Whereas, if the general level of taxes, state income taxes and property taxes were lowered, there'd be more money in the economy, which would generate more jobs, more spending in the marketplace, more money for everybody. And would be perfect opportunity for everybody to have more jobs. But the Democrats in particular don't want to have this conversation, and the Republicans don't want to invest in this fact, which is quite honestly bizarre to me. It's absolutely bizarre. Most Republicans would have this discussion, but the team in Verso here in the 14th District does not want to explicitly have this discussion. Well, Don DeZarn and I are having this discussion. Then there's the issue of education here in the state of New Jersey. We are presently subjected to something called Common Core, or more clearly, the Common Core State Standards Initiative, a state of education standards that every school in the entire state is subjected to, which calls for doing away with critical thinking and doing away with outside-the-box thinking, doing away with the importance of philosophy and poetry and literature, which has very poor math standards and science standards, which even the students themselves are laughing at and saying they're bored. of. That's a fact when it comes to education presently in the state of New Jersey. Whereas if we look at other countries who have the best education in the entire world, like Finland, the policy is school autonomy, something that Don DeZarn and I vehemently support. And if you vote for us, we're going to do away with Common Core so that the individual schools can have their say, and especially the parents and the teachers, since they're the ones that make the schools great. And then we have the issue of gun rights, a very controversial issue. But the Republicans are really not saying much about the right to bear arms. Meanwhile, it seems like the Democrats are saying, well, they want to make sure that in general people have the right to bear arms. Except what they don't tell you is that off the record, they all believe that we should not, any of us, be allowed to own guns. We should not, any of us, be allowed to defend ourselves, which is sick and inhumane, ladies and gentlemen. And unfortunately, because Don DeZarn and I have not been invited to any debates whatsoever in our legislative district, we can't have these conversations. So what ridiculous, meaningless, empty conversations are going to be had in the single announced debate between Linda Greenstein and Peter Inverso, who seem to agree on a lot more than they disagree on. Ladies and gentlemen, Don DeZarn and I need your help. We need you to join us in complaining about how unfair this is, how ridiculous this is, how unacceptable this is when it comes to what the fair and necessary democratic process ought to be. Now briefly, just a comment on the president and something he said about the debt. President Barack Obama said that if we increase the debt limit, the debt ceiling here in America, that it would not amount in an actual increase in our debt, and that it wouldn't cost any American a penny. Here's my question. If that is the case, then why is it that the president feels the need to increase the debt limit? He's made no comment defending that question or answering that question. By the way, the further point on why debate is so important. But the point is, the president has essentially lied to the American people yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to stop supporting all of these politicians who lie to us at our expense. It's time to say the hell with them and to stand behind politicians like Don DeZarn and I, who will tell you the truth. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for your time today. May God bless the state of New Jersey, and may God bless America.